What up, y'all? I show up blurry. What the hell's with that? Crazy. There we go. What up, y'all? It's your man, Abuamerican. I'm back. I'm a bit late. I apologize, guys. I had like some issues to take care of, man. I had to drive back into the city and all sorts of stuff. It was madness, man. I had to go through some madness today. But it was a good day. Got my cap put on my root canal today. Got a teeth cleaning. Camera acting crazy again. So alhamdulillah, it's been a good day. And have you guys been watching the crypto markets? That Ethereum Classic has gone crazy. Okay, it's slowed down now. It's not going as crazy as it was before. But dude, in like, what was it, babe? It was like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I made $800 in like 20 minutes. It was crazy. $800 in like 20 minutes. It was insane. It was crazy. But alhamdulillah, beautiful. So yeah. Now I'm here watching the market like while I'm on air with you guys at the same time. I'm like, what's going on with the market? What is going on? Gotta get that money. Get that money. It's crazy how the Ethereum Classic was going nuts. Anyway, yeah, I want to talk about some stuff that I actually talked about before, and I actually put this down to the sisters. Hold on, let me open this up in a new window here. And this is something I talked to the sisters about. And this is actually, although you might get some feedback here, although I am addressing the brothers, sisters need to watch this one. Okay. This is one for the sisters. And if no sisters watch it, then make sure you convey this to the sisters out there that you know in your life, because you're going to catch them doing this. And so it's important that you prevent them from this bad behavior that can wreck their marriages, which is what we're going to get into right now. Women wrecking their marriages. Look, I've said this before. Going back to what I was saying, though, I've said this before. Women, don't talk about your relationships. Your relationships are yours. Nobody else comes in that stuff. And the issue is, and you can go back in history and watch all my videos. I can't remember the titles anymore. It's been a long time. But basically, I said, like, if you go and you badmouth your husband, you're going to still love that guy. You're going to go home. You're going to, make love to him. You're going to love that guy. You're mad at him at the moment. And those people you told all that crap about your man about, they're going to still hate him. You see? So you are going to be in love with that man, and everybody else that you dumped on him about or dumped on him too, they're still going to hate that guy. So don't do it, because now what you've done is you've added like third, fourth, fifth, 20th parties into your marriage. And then all you're going to have is a bunch of people pouring poison into your ear and making a bunch of trouble in your marriage and your relationship. That's not going to help. And you might think, oh, well, they're not going to make trouble in a relationship. Yeah, well, if it's people that your husband has to deal with or he sees even passively, how do you think they're going to treat him? You think they're going to treat him with respect and dignity? And then it's just going to create problems within your marriage because you brought a whole bunch of people into the marriage that didn't belong there. He said right here, crypto bags is packed on only legitimate products, so ETC is kind of sketchy to hodl. No, actually it's not. I should have hodled. I used to mine ETC. If I had not traded my ETC in for Polkadot and all these other coins, I'd be up like 50,000-60,000 right now. I was mining it at like $5, bro. And I had a lot. I mean, a lot. I traded for this coin, that coin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, this, that, the other. And I'm kicking myself right now. I'd be up more than 50,000-60,000, bro. I'd be over 100K, I think. Ethereum Classic has a legitimate projects, but whatever. That's for crypto bros. So anyway, I'm gonna read this from a sister. I don't know the sister. A brother in my men's community posted this from another group that the sister apparently posted in. And so she says here, and this is what happens, sisters, when you bring outsiders into your relationship. So she says, a divorced single mother wrote, I am 32 years of age. My ex-husband and I dated for 6 years. It's a problem, what starts bad ends bad. So if you were dating, and start haram, it's going to end. I'm not going to say it's end haram, but it can't, it started bad, it's going to end bad. But whatever. We were, she put where, WHERE. We were the best of friends. I waited until he completed college and started work. My family and his family then met. We got married and had a son who's now 7 years old. My husband was short-tempered at times, but our problem started when I wanted to make him feel he couldn't control me. So she knew what she was doing. She was going out and deliberately testing this man. So she says it right here. She says, I wanted to make him feel like he couldn't control me. So see, this is what happens when you go into a relationship with a woman who doesn't have, when you haven't established frame control from early point on, or you've established frame control and she decides that she wants to battle with you. I talked about frame battles, whatnot with women. It's fun to a degree, but understand that they're always serious and you shouldn't take them lightly. And so we're going to get into this. But anyway, she knows what she was doing, you know, and this is a problem. SNA with the £5 super chat. He says, my auntie played superhero and didn't expect my family to be broken. Now she's being cheated on and isn't letting anyone save her marriage. Hypocrite. As a woman, man, women are good at making bad decisions. Women, listen to that again, SNA. Women are good at making bad decisions and they don't even know it. So carrying on. Every time we argued, I would pack my bags, go to my family and explain to my sisters and go to my family and explain. So I guess you're saying she would explain to them that they were arguing and that's why she's there. So I talked about this. If you look at my video, it's called like long-term relationship game. And I established in that video actually from someone else. And it was a very good thing that I got from like a movie star's wife. And he told her that she can't leave the house in arguments. And if you leave the house, just don't come back. And so you have to set boundaries for your woman. If this guy had watched that video, then he should have set that boundary for her. It's like, yo, if you leave the house in an argument, don't come back. Because that's a new rule that I picked up after that video. It's a very good long-term relationship game and like, you know, game changer for me. And it's very good. I still use it to this day. It's an excellent one. Go watch that video. He needs to watch this video. Well, it's a bit late now for them. My sister would phone my husband and shout at him. Now, you see, a lot's been left out here. So she says, my sister would phone my husband and shout at him. Now, under what circumstances would a sister-in-law feel it's okay to call up her brother-in-law and start shouting at him? So she's been cussing him for a long time before the situation. She said, I'd go pack up my bags, go to my family and explain. No, what she means is I'd go and dump on him to the point that they felt that they didn't have to respect him because she, as his wife, didn't have to respect him. So this is why you as a man also do not crap on your woman. Because eventually, if you actually love your woman and you go out and you crap on her, then everybody else is going to get the impression that they can crap on her too. And women, that's why you don't crap on your husband to anybody, because everybody's going to get the idea and the impression that they can crap on your husband. And eventually it's going to lead to trouble, you know, because what's going to happen is you're going to run into a guy like me or something. I'm going to be like, okay, look, I'm going to roll up over the house. We're going to see if you're going to talk in my face like that. You know what I mean? And then when you get a husband like that, then what are you going to do? Now you done dragged your family into a fight. And I'm going to beat up all the men in your family and I'm going to get in your sister's face and I'm going to dare her to say something. You don't, don't do that stuff, because one day you're going to run into a crazy guy who ain't got no common sense, you know, when it comes down to his dignity and his pride and his honor, and he's going to lose it. But, you know, but this is the problem in the Muslim community. And it is a problem. It's that whole, well, we're Muslims, we're not going to do that to each other, you know? And yes, that's good, but it's also bad because now people think they can get away with crap like that. I think we need a little bit more like, you know, run off the reservation type behavior in the brothers when people start doing stuff like this. Carrying on. If he was controlling me, I would always dare him that if he wished, he could divorce me. I never wanted a divorce. She dared him to divorce her. Now, listen, guys, I've said this before, and I can't remember how many times I said it in how many videos. Anytime a woman talks about, I want a divorce, she doesn't want a divorce. She's bringing up divorce because it's a congruence test. She doesn't want a divorce. She's just testing you. How bad does he really want me? Does he really want to stay with me? You know, can I just get away with it? Divorce me. Divorce me. I want a divorce. I want a divorce. They never want a divorce. They bring it up because women live in backwards world. And so I'm going to say this, but actually do this. I'm going to act like he can't control me, but then I really want him to control me. You know, so remember that always. If she wants a divorce, just look at her and be like, look, you divorce ain't in your hands. Don't mention it. That's what I say to my women now. It's like, because even I deal with this stuff, bro. Don't think that just because I'm an Abuamerican, I ain't dealing with crazy women. Well, I said it with the reservation and they go like emotionally epileptic terrorist like twice a year. They all do it. You're never going to escape it. I don't care who you are. All women go emotional epileptic terrorist at least twice a year. All of them do. And when they come with that crazy stuff, look, divorce ain't nothing you got to say on. Divorce has been put in my hand in Islam, so you just need to shut up about that. Just be quiet. It's like me going around talking about who's going to, press the nuclear hot button in the United States presidency office, and I'm not the president of the United States. I ain't got no say in that. Shut up. So just cut them off with that stuff. They don't want it. They're just bringing it up because they're stupid. And every time you divorce them, then they're like, oh, I didn't want you to divorce me. It's like, yeah, well, you kept on saying it. So you know what? Go ahead. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. And then you're going to see how stupid you look. Unless you want to teach them a lesson, to not try and use that as a weapon. If you want to do that and you want to throw away one of your divorces, go ahead and do it. And this is a lot of times. It's like, that's how, everybody's like, oh, Americans been married and divorced like 80 billion times. Yeah. You know what? Because I don't play that whole divorce me game. You want a divorce? I tell them right off the bat, you are free. This is not a prison. There are no gates on this place. You want to walk out that door, walk out that door. You want a divorce? Are you sure? Make sure you're sure. Go make Salat al-Istikhara, come back and tell me you want a divorce. I'll tell them like that. Usually they don't want to go make Istikhara, and then they just be like, that's the condition I said also. Go make your Salat al-Istikhara and then come back to me. If you still want a divorce, I'll give you the divorce. And then, some of them didn't know they got their divorce. And then later on, they're texting me like, a year later, oh, I didn't really want you to divorce me. You dummy. It's your problem, not my problem. Bye. I'm happily married now. So anyway, getting back into this. Where was it? So she said, I never wanted a divorce. I just had pride and I never wanted to look like a loose woman in his eyes. I don't know what that means, to be honest. I never wanted to look like a loose woman in his eyes. Loose? I don't understand that. I mean, what does loose? I mean, maybe her English is really bad, so maybe she means something else. I'll get to that in a second. Anyway, we'll skip that part because I don't know what she's talking about there. Maybe she meant weak or something. I don't know. One day I pushed him so hard that for the first time he beat me and locked me outside. Okay. I went to my family. My family took him to the police. Every time I looked like I was being abused. So she's saying here that I made myself look like the victim all the time. But to be honest, I used to abuse my husband emotionally. And so this is the thing that women do. Women are pros at emotional attacks because they're not strong. They're not physically strong, but they are with this whole emotional madness. They're really good at that stuff. So look at the situation here. Nobody addressed the abuse that she was doing to him. But the moment he used his level of abuse, aka physical, he was taken to like jail. But when a woman uses her weapon of choice, emotions, nobody takes her to jail. You see, but men and women have different strengths, and her strength is the emotional arena, and his strength is the physical one. So really, yes, they're not the same, but they are. They both leave their scars. They both leave their marks. I'm not saying, and neither is okay. I think they're actually equal. Where was it? Well, oops. To be honest, I used to abuse him. Okay, here we go. So to be honest, I used to abuse my husband emotionally. This is long, so I keep on losing my spot. He was arrested and detained. I was asked by his family to withdraw the case. I felt that what I was doing was wrong. So she knew she was wrong. My husband was never a violent man. So she admits that he was never a violent man and that she pushed him to violence. This goes into what Bill Burr said. Bill Burr said it, and he was joking, although he was joking. If you look up his comedy skit, he's like, women, come on. Can we just at least admit that like these butt kickings don't just fall out of the sky? Like, you put ketchup on the fries and I didn't want it. He had some joke. It was funny. It's like, and then all of a sudden he just, what? You put ketchup on my fries and I start beating you up. He's like, can we admit that you push these guys? Go watch Bill Burr's, skit on this. He talks about this and he jokes about it, but it's true. These butt kickings don't fall out of the sky. I felt that what I was doing was wrong. She knew what she was doing was wrong. She didn't feel it. She knew it, but they always speak about how things feel for them, and this is an important point, guys. Remember, everything a woman says is about how she feels right now. So when she was doing it, she felt like she was right, but she knew she was wrong. What did she follow? She followed her feelings. Then later on, I felt that I was wrong. She knew that she was wrong. So the only thing that changed was her feeling. She knew she was wrong because she said it earlier too. I used to abuse him emotionally. She said it. So she knew she was wrong from the start. But what she's doing is she's using that whole female logic, which isn't logic, which is how I feel right now. My husband was never a violent man. He did what he did because I pushed him to the wall, of which he openly knelt down and apologized. So he knelt down and apologized to her. I withdrew the charge and we reconciled. So now she pushed him into a corner, basically, to where it's like he's losing his dignity as a man. And this is something I always say. It's like, don't lose your dignity as a man, not for a woman, because women come and go. Do not lose your dignity for a man. So you're going to kneel down in front of her. And now she's like, got this pride, like, I'm better than him. He's kneeling before me, this, that, the other, whatever's going through her mind at the time. Don't do it, guys. Don't do that stuff. But love will make you do goofy stuff. And there's no problem you love your woman. Just don't let it make you do goofy stuff. After 3 months, I packed my bags after a small issue and he remained alone. After 2 days, I received a call that he was in the hospital. My family told me that I shouldn't go there because it would make it look like I was begging him, and my sisters believed he was feigning, aka faking, the illness. So here, you see, now look at this. Her husband's in the hospital. She gets a message that her husband's in the hospital, and her family says don't go see him. So she wanted to go see him, and then her family convinced her not to. Remember what I said earlier, guys. And ladies, this is important. Remember what I said. If you crap on your husband, they're not going to stop hating him, even if you love him. They don't care about the fact that you love him and then that you're playing your little emotional game so you can have your roller coaster and your feels. And so everything's exciting and whatever else. So you have your emotional roller coaster. They don't care about that. They hate that guy. You can love him to death and play your stupid games. They're going to hate him. And then they're going to convince you to do dumb stuff like this. Like, don't go see your husband who's in the hospital who might possibly die. Allahu Alam. All this time, people felt sorry for me like I was the one being abused. He spent a week in the hospital. After he came out, I just received a divorce summons. So there he goes. That was his breaking point. He was like, yo, I was in the hospital for a week. You didn't come see me? Boom. Sent her the divorce papers. Alhamdulillah. Smart man. So, alhamdulillah. Good man. Good move. She ain't come see you in the hospital? You gone. You out. I wanted to say no to divorce, but because I felt this pride, her pride, I wanted him to change his mind and beg me. Now you see, look at this. Look at this. Let's read that again. I wanted to say no to divorce, but because I felt this pride, her internal pride, I wanted him to change his mind and beg me. She wanted him back on his knees again. She wanted him to come back and get on his knees and beg her, just like he did with the police thing. You see how it's a bad pattern to start. This is what I said. Don't do that goofy stuff. You love a woman, but don't let her do goofy stuff. Now it's in her mind that this is the new standard of behavior for you. Anytime I want something from you, you got to get down on your knees and beg me. She wanted him to beg him. Where is your dignity after that? So alhamdulillah, this guy, the hospital was it. He said, you know what? This is the end of my line. I got my dignity. Here's your divorce papers. I'm out. But what did she want? No. I don't care. She said it here. She said it. Listen to what she said. I wanted to say no to divorce. She didn't want the divorce. But because he begged her, she wanted him to come back and beg her again. So her pride over him, because he let her get away with that, caused her to think that she could pull this all the time. Oh, no, wait. Remember, she said pride. How's this guy talking about he wanted a divorce? You down on your knees begging me. You better come back here and beg me again. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me Abuamerican is wrong. I'm not. Red Sings the Blues. Look good, man. $5 super chat. We're going to do a podcast together soon. Been busy. Yeah, bro. I've been mad busy too, bro. I got a ton of projects going on. Inshallah. But inshallah, let's do it, man. Let's do it. Let's do it, bro. I'm down. You know me. So let's keep on going. I called him and he said he would get the divorce because I lived. Wait a minute. I called him and said he would get the divorce because I lived like I was in hell, which we know is a lie now. Later, unit, we'll see you. When we went to court, I wanted to make him pay. So I told the court I needed his properties to be shared. So now, look, see what pride and ego does, ladies? See what pride and ego does? So now, just because she's mad because she didn't want a divorce and he went through it anyway because he wouldn't come and beg her, he wouldn't get back down on his knees again, and he wouldn't take her back, she's like, oh, I'm going to make you pay now because I still think I'm better than you. That pride. This is why you don't lose your dignity and your pride as a man for no woman. I don't care how much you love her. Do not lose your dignity and pride for a woman. Don't do it because now it just becomes a power dynamic to them. So anyway, to my surprise, he openly told the court that whatever he and I acquired together should be given to me. All he wanted was a divorce. Ooh, read that again. Let's read that again. To my surprise, he openly told the court that whatever he and I acquired together should be given to me. All he wanted was a divorce. Talk about a blow to the gut. He's like, I don't care what you take. I'll get it again. You just take this. I just want you out of my life. You're such a wretched, horrible wretch. You just psycho, banshee, nutball case. Take it all. I just want to get away from you. I just want to get away from you. Blow to the gut for her. All he wanted was a divorce. This was some of my marriages right here. I mean, I wasn't down on my knees begging anybody, but this is my marriages. And the dude's like, oh, America's divorced 11 times. You know what? I ain't doing this stuff right here. Abuamerican ain't doing this stuff. I can spot the patterns. And I'm just like, you know what? You remember them two little roly-polies on A Bug's Life? You fired. You're fired. No, you fired. That was Abuamerican. I ain't doing that. Abuamerican ain't playing that game. Y'all can play that game out there for me. And then when it happens to you, after you done crapped on me, you can write a message like this, or you can have your wife write a message like this, and I'll read it on air. But Abuamerican ain't gonna be this guy right here. You can be that guy. Anybody who's mad at me for having my divorces, I ain't gonna be this guy. We were divorced in July of 2009. Now my husband, look how she calls him. She says, now my husband is married while I'm here wasted. She still calls him her husband. So she's now alpha widow. She ain't let go of this guy. She knows she lost a good thing. And so in her mind, she still calls him her husband because that is her emotional attachment to that guy. So she says, now I'm here wasted. My family members are gossiping about me. Those same people who told you don't go see your husband in the hospital. Those same people, your family, who called up your husband and was yelling at him on the phone while you was playing your goofy games. Remember what I said, sisters, don't talk about your family life to strangers, not even strangers. Your family is no good. Don't do it because you know what's going to do? You know what they're going to do? They're just going to turn on you. Look at what happened here. They turn on her. I depend on what my ex-husband gives to my son for survival. Oh. I bet you she had friends talking about you should get a divorce. I bet you she had her sister talking about you should get a divorce. I bet you she had family members talking about you should get a divorce. And now who's the one taking care of her? Her ex-husband. Her sisters ain't giving her no money. Her friends ain't giving her no money. All those people that you sisters go out there and talk to when things go bad, you know who's not going to take care of you? All those people. They're going to go home happy to their relationships or their cats in their boxed halal wine or whatever else they got to make their antidepressants to make themselves feel good while you are there. They are going to trash your marriage and feel good about it. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. So, sisters, do not unequivocally talk about your marriage to anybody. Now, if there's physical abuse involved, something major from a major sin involved, and it can't be overlooked, fine. You go and you get mediation. But all these games and all this type of stuff, we know you sisters play that stuff. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. If it's something that can be worked out, it's nothing serious. It's just another spat, another argument, or whatever else. You better, sister, take that beef between you and your husband, fry it up, and swallow it. You don't spread that around the neighborhood, okay? Because all it does is make people hungry for more. And then they're going to come look at you. Where's the beef, baby? What's going on? Oh, we want some of that good. And all they're going to do is wreck your life. Emotional barbecue is what you're giving them. So, carrying on. My family members are gossiping about me. I depend on what my ex-husband gives me and my son for survival. I know I wasted my marriage. I'm here telling all wives that they should be careful how they get advice. What Abuamerican's been saying for a long time. Maybe she should listen to my channel long before this. Don't be cheated. Don't entertain family interference in your marriage, my dear reader. How would family interference take place if you didn't involve them? If you kept your mouth shut, if you kept an eye on your lip and watched your mouth, how would your family interfere? But you gave them ammo to shoot at your husband. And then when he decided he had enough, and he just, he put on the bulletproof vest and put on the armored truck and, rolled the frick out and was like, I'm out. Now you over here wasted. Even my young sisters are much more respected than me. Those who encouraged me to get divorced are always teasing and bad mouthing me. Yeah, and you deserve it. Because what do you think they were up to in the first place? Why would someone advise you to get divorced from a guy that's taking care of you? Because you know what? A lot of people don't like to see other people happy. And you think they're your friends, but they're really not. You think they're people who love you, but you know what? Sometimes open a business. Open a business. Any of you, brothers and sisters, open a business and watch how many people who are around you directly actually support you. There you go. You're going to see the truth about people. Love them to death. Don't hate them, but pay attention to how they support you. There's going to be those who really do, and there's going to be a lot who really don't. Please, ladies, be vigilant in your marriage. I thought it was wise to share my story to save your marriage. There is no benefit in pride for nothing. Sometimes it's not the man's fault at all. It's your pride and the people you allow to advise you. So be wise and be vigilant in your marriage. Now, Abuamerican's been saying this for years. Now, obviously, this sister didn't listen. Was I saying this in 2009? Actually, I wasn't saying this in 2009, but I've been saying it. I've been saying it for a while. I've been saying it. I might have been saying it in 2009. I gotta look at my videos. I don't think I've been saying it in 2009. Definitely been saying it around a long time. It doesn't matter. Let me go back look at some of these questions right here. Let me see. Abuamerican, are you quick to cut one of your wives if they misbehave or continue to misbehave? It depends on the level of misbehavior. I mean, if it's something serious, yes, absolutely. Because the more you let something behavior like go, the worse it gets. I tell everybody my famous story about Becky. Becky had this thing like from Jahiliyyah, from her days of ignorance, where she always kept no friends. It came to the point where it's like dudes were like, asking her crazy questions on like Instagram. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. I was like, if you don't think these are inappropriate questions, then you know what? I'm done. And I fired her. Because if I let that go, what's going to happen? Worse is going to happen. There are some things that I take as a limit and other things I don't. A woman keeps on just incessantly like, give me a divorce, give me a divorce, give me a divorce, give me a divorce. You all right, fine, man, I'm done with you. I'll cut them quick. Who's got time for that? Ahmed, tell me, who's got time for that? Who has time for all the drama that a woman brings to your life? Life ain't hard enough. We ain't got enough to do in making our businesses work. We ain't got enough to do with like intercompetition between men, career, this, that, the other. Life is difficult enough that I don't need to come home and deal with another challenge. I don't need that. I need my downtime as a man. And a lot of guys seem to think that there's a lot of honor and there's a lot of dignity and a lot of pride and a lot of like just in like you staying with a difficult, troublesome woman. Oh yeah, I stayed with her for years, even though she made my life hell. I'm awesome. You're terrible, Abuamerican. Yeah, okay, well, I'm terrible, but I'm happy. I ain't staying in a miserable marriage. Abuamerican ain't staying in no miserable marriage. You know what? My life is miserable enough that in terms of like going to work. I go to work. Inshallah, I'll be able to quit work soon. But to me, even though my job is decent and I like it, it's miserable that I have to. Do you understand that statement? It's miserable that I have to go to work. I don't mind my job. It's a decent job. I chill most of the day. I'd say I'd maybe work like 3 hours a day. The rest of the day, I'm just getting paid. But the fact that I have to get up in the morning and go there is miserable. I'm not miserable at my job, but the fact I have to, it's an obligation. Anything that you're obligated to do that you don't really want to, you should be miserable about it. It should make you work 5 times harder to get out of it. So, don't let anybody like, America's miserable in his job. I'm not miserable in my job. I'm miserable in the fact that I have to go to that job. Viking Paradigm says, even when I was blue pill, I always told my woman that if you want to get out, get out. If you want me out, I'll go. If that's what you really want. That's a solid plan. Next Sunday, bro. Next Sunday. I missed this Sunday show. It's been really busy in a wild week, man. I got a lot going on. Sunday show. Same thing. Sunday show, please. I'll be there even if it's by myself. Everybody canceled, and then I just had some stuff come up, and so I canceled also. But Sunday show, we'll talk about this entire crazy alt season. Phantom Zone says, these goofy people that say Abuamerican divorced many times, blah, 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 so I don't take advice from him. It's the dumbest statement. You have so much experience to share with us. You know what it is? It's not like I just divorced and I didn't learn anything from it. I actually paid attention to like, okay, what am I doing wrong? What did I do right? What was she doing wrong? What was she doing right? I learned a lot from it. I didn't just pay attention to like, her mistakes. Oh, it was her. Bling, bang, bang. Sometimes I made mistakes, and then I corrected them. That's why I'm happy now. Alhamdulillah. That's why I have happy and strong relationships now, because everything in life is a learning process. And sometimes you have like a very steep learning curve. I came from a 26-year marriage, 26 years. I didn't cheat. I didn't play games. I didn't run game, nothing. I was just straight married monogamously. I didn't mess around or nothing. I didn't do no crazy stuff or whatever else and game women. I came out of that into a whole new relationship paradigm and world. It just was completely changed. And so when I came out and I was just like, all right, let's get married again. Dude, women had changed so significantly in terms of their behaviors, mentalities, whatever else. It was like learning women all over again. Everything that I knew from before, from 26 years earlier, was canceled. It was gone. It didn't exist anymore. Feminism was a thing back when I got married 26 years ago, or it's even more than 26 years now. But basically back with that, at the beginning of 26 years marriage, feminism wasn't even a conversation. People didn't even talk about that stuff. All of that stuff. Women still wanted husbands that took care of everything, and she wanted to stay home, do the laundry and all that type of stuff. And I came back into a world where women was just like, I got a degree and and I ain't got to wash dishes, because I work, and the world had changed. And so I still have my standards. I'm like, well, look, I don't care what you think. I'm doing like this. And so what do you think happened? I got married and then she was like crazy. And I was like, you know what? You got to go. And I did it a lot. And I'm not shy to do it again if that's what it boils down to. If women change all crazy tomorrow, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hire and fire until someone comes along and I'm like, okay, you're good. Actually, I ain't even got to do that anymore because now I know how to vet women for their BS. Never lose your control. No matter how much she pushes your buttons, walk away from her. Make her beg for you back. Yes, indeed. Because at the end of the day, what they want is your attention. They always want your attention. And so make them work for it, Yeah, indeed. There was a time when they did that whole thing with the, I think it was the honey and milk. I think it was honey and milk drink. The messenger of a lot of peace be upon him. Whose house was it? I think he wasn't. I can't remember which wife's house it was. And she used to prepare him a drink. And he was about to divorce all of his wives. Yeah, he married, he divorced. He took his wives back though, but there you go, man. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And that's unfortunate what a lot of sisters do. They play stupid games with their marriage, and they get the stupid prize of divorce. And then there's that whole thing, oh, she's divorcee, she's a single mother, this, that, the other. And then you got to go through all that stigma and all those problems. And it's like, who wants to deal with all that? Not too many people. And rightfully so. He said, it's good that you divorced 11 times. Men should learn to fire women more often when they mess up. Andrew Tate is good at teaching this too. It's true, man. Why do you have to deal with that? Why do you have to deal with a bunch of problems? What's the honor and dignity in staying married in a miserable marriage? I don't understand that. I mean, that so many Muslims think that that's somehow like an honorable thing. Yeah, he stayed miserably married for 50 years. That guy is awesome. That's probably the last person I'm going to talk to about anything. I mean, like, you've been married for 30 years and you're freaking miserable. Why would I listen to anything you have to say? Is there American? Do I look miserable? No, I'm quite happy. My shoes get tired. My steaks get made. Alhamdulillah, dude. I got a bunch of kids, so I ain't missing out on the action. Guys, be happy. Be happy. You know why? Because there's a woman out there somewhere looking to be happy also. Why be with a miserable woman? That woman that wants to be happy with you, she's out there somewhere. It's just you got to create a net, and you got to create a funnel to find her. Don't be stuck with no miserable sister. Just it's the same as vice versa. I mean, this is not unilateral. Women shouldn't be stuck with a miserable dude. Because if she's stuck with a miserable dude, do you think the dude's going to be happy with a miserable woman? She's going to be miserable, and he's going to be miserable because everybody's miserable. Why does everybody want to stay in miserable marriages? I don't understand that. What's the great dignity and honor in that? I find no dignity and honor in that. How are kids going to raise? Mom and dad always just look at each other like, is that how you want your kids to grow up in a house like that? They imagine he's going to think that's the status quo, or she's going to think that's the status quo, and that's what a healthy relationship looks like. Because the child's parents are the reproductive example that they're going to have. And so if you abuse your woman or your woman abuses you, the child's going to think it's okay to abuse my dad or it's okay to abuse my mom, because that's what I grew up looking at. This is my model of reproductive success. No, thank you. I'll leave that to all those awesome guys out there. More power to them. Abuamerican, what do you advise for people wanting to work out and study at the same time? How about a balance of two? I mean, just balance the two, bro. I don't know. I mean, if you're studying, you must be a relatively young dude. You got a lot of energy. Take advantage of it. Put in that work ethic now. Learn to work and learn how to build yourself at the same time. Work ethic. It's all it is, man. Because I remember back before I was Muslim, I used to work and I was studying, and then because I went to automotive engineering at the university. I studied automotive engineering at Maryland University, and then I would work. I had kids. I would study, and then I would go clubbing from Thursday to Sunday, and then I do it all over again. I don't even know when I slept back then. So what's to stop you from doing half of that? There's nothing to stop you other than your desire and your want for it, So if you really want it, you can do it. Just keep her away from any friend that corrupts her or use force if needed. I don't know how force would work, but yeah, you have to vet your woman's friends also. And that's something you look at before you marry a woman, her friends. So you got to vet her friends also, because as they say, birds of a feather fly together. Soldiers, they're in the same army or they're enemies. So, but what do you think about cousin nikah? My mom recommended me my cousin from Egypt. I mean, it's Islamically acceptable. It's not from the behaviors nor the ways of my people in the West. It's frowned upon, but it is permissible. So I can't speak out against it. Allah and his messenger have allowed something, so khalas, that's it. Allah and his messenger have allowed it. But from my culture and from the culture and the behaviors and the mannerisms of my people in the West, it's not something that we partake in. So, I leave the people to what they do. It's permissible. Khalas, if it's a good woman, it's a good woman, and it's permissible to marry her. Khalas. But as for me, as Abuamerican, it's not something that, from the culture of my people, I could forbid from my family, but it's not something that I would encourage from me. And your family, obviously, would be on an aspect in that sense closer to Islam. I'm not saying that we'd abandon it. Like I said, if I had a cousin and it was my daughter was oh, wow, I like my cousin, I'd be like, you sure we can't find nobody else? And if she's like, no, I really like this guy, I'd be like, okay. But I would encourage her strongly not to. Now, obviously, again, I'm not discouraging anything that's permissible in the book and the Sunnah, but it's something I would struggle with. That's me personally. He said, based off what she told me, she'd passed the vetting test, feminine, conservative, etc., and she's beautiful even in her hijab. Thoughts? I mean, khalas, like I said earlier, just a second ago, it's permissible, bro. It's permissible. It's an allowance. So if it's permissible, it's permissible. There's nothing really to debate. If she fits the bill, and Islamically she's halal to marry, then khalas, I can't say much about it. Like I said, anything that I have to say about it is cultural, and that's negated, and that's rendered null and void in light of and in the shade of the book and the Sunnah, inshallah. Well, I talk about the statement of Omar, radiallahu anhu. He said, marrying divorced women because they're plentiful. I mean, he said this, so yeah, indeed. What up, Mighty Zain? Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yusuf, what's good, man? What are your thoughts on massage therapy? I'm just curious about your insights. If you have any reference to the field, possibly considering doing it on the side. And I have no idea about massage therapy, bro. I have done no research on it. I don't know anything about it, so I apologize. I wish I could advise you and tell you, but I don't know anything about it, unfortunately. Yeah, that's true, man. You only lose when you don't learn. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my man. Abu Future Trunks. What's good, bro? Should a man leave a woman even after having children with her? And wouldn't that be negative on the kid when he or she grows up? By negative, I mean the child ends up hating you. I mean, the child doesn't necessarily hate you just because of divorce. I mean, me and my daughter, we love each other very strongly, but I divorced her mother, you know. I mean, that's my daughter in London, you know, and I've seen her like 3 times total. But we talk on WhatsApp, regularly, and I don't ever get the impression that she hates me, but yeah, it is negative. Obviously, if it can be deterred, then you deter, and you work towards. That's why I do Abuamerican. Basically, it's like, why would you, we don't want people to get divorces, so from the start, looking for the warning signs, and then decide as to whether or not you want to have a kid with this person, because that's something you should think automatically, because we're Muslims and we're getting married, and because we're getting married, you need to look at that woman and you need to look at that man and like, is this a person I have a kid with? And a lot of times people don't look at that picture also. And they just like, oh, wow, I need to get married. They're only just, I got to get married. And then the consequences are, fatherless households, which are in huge numbers right now amongst the Muslims. So, yeah. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think I did this, didn't I? I did this last week. Last week's show, I talked about this. Okay, so pro-cooperative attributes. That's something that I always talk about. Of course, beyond the book and the sunnah, practice your Islam properly. Quote, pro-cooperative attributes. Pro-cooperative attributes means that women hate this word, but basically be a submissive woman. Now, obviously, that means you're going to have to find the right man, because obviously a woman's not going to want to submit to a guy that she doesn't respect or love. So you have your work to do also. But be a submissive woman who's good, who brings value to the life of her man. Now, bring value to the life of the man is basically you get that high value man and you make sure that you don't become a hindrance to his life. He comes home, you're taking care of his kids, or if you don't have kids, you're taking care of his household, you can help him and assist him in his things. If you have studied, like my wife, she does all my channel managing and stuff, all the thumbnails, all this type of stuff you see on my channel and a lot of my social media. She handles all that for me so that I could just focus on content creation and working on projects and whatnot. Make sure you bring quality to his life and less drama and problems. Obviously, all relationships are going to have problems, but right now the bar is set really low for sisters, for women in general, not just sisters. It's like, just stay fit, stay cooperative in things that are halal, and try and help him with his mission. And really, you don't have anything else to do, sister. Really, you don't. It's not complicated for sisters. For brothers, it's much more difficult. For you sisters, just don't get obese. Don't get all just you're like a plastic bag filled with water. Don't turn into that. Most men don't like that. You might find a guy that has a fetish out there for that. But then, do you want to be fetishized? Yes, you want to be desired by your man. But do you want to be fetishized by your man? I think that's a bad thing, So yeah, and don't be a headache to him. Sister, it's not complicated for y'all. It's really not. That's why there's not a lot of talk out there on how to be a high value woman, because it's very easy, Abuamerican, what kind of mentality, mindset should I have when looking for a wife? This is in my vetting guide. I talk about this, and you should have a what's the word I used in the vetting guide? Disqualifying mindset. You should have a mindset of disqualification. You should have 2 mindsets when looking for a woman: mass attraction, find as many women as possible, and elimination. She gives you a reason to just basically disqualify her, and don't look back. That's it. And we're talking about major things. Everybody's going to be a human. They're going to have their faults. Obviously you want to overlook some human faults, because you're going to have them too, no matter how successful you are, because you're a human. But be prepared to disqualify and then just walk away, because the women will do it to you. And I actually took this lesson from women. Women approach men from the position of disqualification. This is all in my betting guide. I'm giving you a freebie here. Women approach relationships from a perspective of disqualification. Ew, why has he got those shoes on? Why is he like this? Why do he act like that? Why is he saying that? Ooh, why is he doing this? Ooh, look at what he's doing. Blah, 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 blah. Why is he friends with this guy? Why does he watch that TV program? Why does he drive that car? They're always looking for a way to disqualify you. You should be doing the same to women. Find a way to get a mass number of women in your life and then just start cutting them when they come up with like stuff that you can't deal with or you can't stand. View women from a position of disqualification. That's what I do. Makes your life easier because later on you're gonna have to deal with less problems because then a lot of guys, man, they just get goofy. Oh my gosh, she's so pretty. And then all that whole list of stuff that he wanted in a woman is gone out the door, and he's like, oh, I'll teach her. I'll teach her. When I get married, and then she'll start doing it. No, she won't. No, she won't. Disqualifications. She ain't gonna do it. She's a pretty face. You got her to talk to you. You got her to consider marrying you. You know what you can do? You can find another woman that'll consider marrying you. That's just as pretty, if not prettier. You got her. You can get somebody else. So find somebody else to marry. Disqualification. That's the position you should approach from. Oh God, I hate to say it, but apps, man. I hate apps, dude. I hate apps. But there's really no other way right now. Use a masjid, use your family. Like I always say, I tell everybody, if you come from a traditionally Islamic family, you're Arab, African, whatever else, and your people are Muslims, use your family. And then the apps. God, I hate those things. Oh, just vile. I hate apps. How to increase ambition? Hate losing. Like I said, I am miserable at the fact that I have to get up. I like my job. My job's not bad, but I'm miserable that I have to go to it. I put that in my head. I put that there. I get up in the morning, I think, I'm like, I don't mind going to work. And then I think, no, I have to go to work. I put that in my head so that I work harder on my Abuamerican projects because I want to be miserable at my job. And so that makes me work harder. And my wife will tell you, I work hard on my projects when I work on them. Unfortunately, I'm not as dedicated and driven as I should be. But when I do it, I do it. Like today, like I said, if you were here at the beginning of the show, I put myself on a mission. I made $800 in 20 minutes. I made $800 in 20 minutes. Why? Because I was driven. I didn't even know how to do like a sell order. Bro, wallahi, I didn't know how to do a sell order. And I was like, babe, before we leave this house, I'm going to figure out how to do a sell order. And I put a sell order in and it worked. And I made $800 in 20 minutes. You just got to want to win. You have to want to win more than you want to like, you're comfortable. This is an easy life. I can cruise control this. So you got to put yourself in a position to where you're miserable. And if you're not miserable, then make up a reason to make yourself believe you're miserable, and you need a reason to change it. I need to make up a reason to make myself believe I'm miserable. And so I say, I hate the fact that I have to get up. And then it makes me more determined on my projects. I wasn't going to go live today. I canceled the show because I had to go all the way back to the city. The city's like a 15-minute drive to deal with some BS that I shouldn't have had to deal with. And then I came back and I was like, forget, babe, I'm going to go live. No, I'm here talking to you fine gentlemen and women. Why? Because I want more. I want to do different. I want to do better. So, yeah. Very much so, bro. Marry a woman that you want to be with and have kids with. Barakallahu feek. Abuamerican, I'm having trouble understanding why alcohol is haram. I'm not sure if there was ever an explanation as to why. Even with pork, I'm not sure there's a clear explanation. It's just a matter of ati Allah wa ati Rasul. Obey Allah and obey his messenger. When they've decided an affair, that's it. The Muslim has no arguments or doubts or questions in his mind about it. So if Allah is forbidden it and his messenger is forbidden it, and it's clear that it's forbidden from them, not just some cultural stuff that people made up, then khalas. You accept it, and that's it. And I think alcohol and pork are two things where there was no real solid explanation given. I know alcohol and gambling, there was something said there is some benefit in it. I think it's only gambling, where in the Quran, Allah said something to the effect of there is some benefit in it, but there's greater harm. And I think alcohol is similar. There was a lot of issues with alcohol in some hadith, like there was, fighting and drunkenness or whatever else. I don't know if that's the exact reason why it was made haram. I don't think there was, but we just know that Allah and his messenger are forbidden it. And so, khalas, we accept that. Let me get down to the super chat here, inshallah. Sorry guys, the super chats aren't showing up like they're supposed to be, so I don't know. I would have got to these earlier. Ahmed with the, I don't know what that is, with the 10 Ron. He said, thanks for answering my question. Mafi Mushkina Barakallah Feek. SNA with the 5 pound super chat, Barakallah Feek, says, most matches for those who are scared to be seen on Tinder. Food for thought. I know from experience, I was judged for being a virgin by a Muslim. Wow, Allahu Akbar. I hope she judged you well, in a good way. If not, she's got some work to do. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Does anyone find it a red flag when a woman calls herself princess? As long as she's willing to call me daddy, she can call herself whatever she wants. I'm joking. But I would allow that to cancel it out. Exactly. Viking Paradigm says a man's true power of a woman is to walk away. I think it comes from the Rational Male, where Rose Massey says the one with the least need is the one with the most power in the relationship. That's absolutely true. Yes, abundance mindset. We're allowed to get 4 wives, so bothering with one is not worth it. Absolutely have an abundance mindset. Thing I was wondering why it was haram. You're welcome. Yeah, sometimes it's just we don't know entirely. I never researched it, you know. I just knew I've read from hadith in the Quran that it's haram, so khalas, I left it. You know, I didn't really go into great detail. If I stumbled across something, alhamdulillah. If I didn't, alhamdulillah. Oftentimes when my wife complains about some behavior of mine, I tend to joke around, amused mastery type stuff. She then gets very mad and says I'm being dismissive and not comforting. So how to tell when she's testing versus looking for comfort? Let me ask you, does it matter? I mean, you know, you don't want to be dismissive of any valid concerns of hers, obviously, in the same way you wouldn't want her to be dismissive of any valid concerns of yours. But 9 times out of 10, you know, women are just testing you. And then what she's doing is she's double testing you when you're dismissive about her claims. Bro, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, I wouldn't worry about it. You just tell her that. Say, okay, look, hold on. Are the lights on in here? Is the rent paid? Have we ever had like an eviction notice, baby? You know, is there gas in the car? Is you driving right? And you're complaining to me about what? What is wrong with your 5-year-old life where you're just chilling here in a house with food in the refrigerator? Tell me again, because I need some context to understand what's going on here. Just completely knock her stuff out of the park. Yeah, I'd be dismissive about it. Because if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, what are you complaining about? Women complain about stuff. You know what it is? She's bored. I'll tell you that right now. You got to name John Smith. That's already boring, bro. You picked a bad anonymous name. It's like a reflection of your relationship. She's looking for action. And so what happens is you find amused mastery, and then she's just like, okay, well, he's responded in a positive way to my BS. And so now let me throw more BS at him. You see what's happening here. So you've acknowledged her BS. And now she's like, ooh, she got a little charge out of that. That's exciting. And so now she's going to give you more. Why? So she can get more. So, yeah. You know what I mean? Other than working on a pursuing career, what are some skills a man should possess to be high value, attractive male? Boy, there's so much to that. I mean, being a high value male, you got to have your fashion right. You got to have your social life right. You know, confidence. You know, bro, there's so much to work on as a man. Here's the thing. I think your question is kind of worded wrong. Because now what you're implying here with your question is, what can I do to be more high value to women? Which is now making your point of origin as a man external, not internal. So now everything you're doing is in order to be visibly high value to a woman. So what you want to do is you just want to be high value, period. Because if you're high value and you're worth a lot to society, you know what you are? You're a high value and worth a lot to women, you know? So focus on internalizing value as something that's internal with internal results as opposed to external. External results are like the benefits that come from it. Make yourself your mental point of origin, as Rollo Tomassi would say, and stop worrying about the outcome of, like, in terms of women, because the outcome is going to be automatic. You know what you need to be doing. Unless you're a pro gamer, staying at home playing PlayStation 5 is not going to make you high value. You know this as a man. So don't do that stuff. You know what I mean? It's not going to help you progress, because societally, you're not adding anything of benefit to anyone. That's not going to increase your value. It's fun for you. It may help you deprogram you. Maybe, I'm not saying you can't play video games, but make sure you do the work to build yourself and your life the way you want it. And then when you have it where you want it, hate it and want more. That's how you're going to be more high value. Go on a website and you can hit up the chat bot there, and either I'll answer or the chat bot will answer. And you can leave your email address there or your Telegram. I'll respond on Telegram. You can hit me up on email. Go there, drop your email on my website. There's a chat bot. There's a chat window. Maybe the bot's not working right now. Sometimes the bot conks out on me and it sends me a message. So I don't know if the bot's working or not, but there's that little window, talk to me right now. That should always be working. Go over there and drop a message and I'll see it, inshallah. Your view on using your sister or your friend's sister to approach females on Instagram and Twitter for marriage. I'm not really sure what you mean, but generally it never goes well when you use a woman to help you set you up. Generally, there are cases where it does go well, but then that woman has to really like you and she has to really understand who you are and what you're all about, which could be a family member. Like I had a brother, he just recently got married. He accepted Islam through Abuamerican, and then he just recently got married through a woman that I introduced him to from Twitter. Now, he didn't marry that woman, but that woman set him up. He's in his 30s. He's like 31, 32, and he married an 18-year-old. That woman set him up. She really liked him. He's an awesome dude. And now they're happily married. Alhamdulillah. So, there's always that case, but generally it doesn't go well. I tend to avoid it. If a woman is going to set you up with a woman, she has to really like you to the point where it's like she wants you herself. It has to be that type of like, you know what I'm saying? And that's rare. Just going through the questions, guys. We're over here in an hour, so I'm just going to try and answer the rest of the questions, and tomorrow we're going to be back for the Eben Phillips show. So we can keep this going tomorrow, inshallah. I started later than I wanted to today, but I was like, let me go ahead and hit my homies up. I'm going to try and add another show in during the week because it's like a huge gap in the live shows, but I do have videos coming out every day that I just record usually in the morning when something pops in my mind. Walaikum assalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. That's a question for Sunday, but I'm not a fan personally of Dogecoin. But I know a brother who made 40,000 on it, so you can make money on it. But yeah. It seems like gambling to me. Allahu alam. Come on, man. Allah musta'an. Is it some Muslim non-married male think that most conservative sisters won't be good in bed, but is there a way to test that prior to nikah? No, there's not. There's no way to test that before nikah. Well, I mean, there is, but it's haram. It's a major sin. So no, there's not. Do you think a guy should use emojis and reply fast when texting a potential? I heard some guys say don't do it. What are your views? I just don't care. I'm not using that woman as the center point of my frame. My frame is the one that applies in a relationship. If she's not going to fall in the frame, I don't want to deal with her. I'll use emojis. I'll reply instantly. And if she has a problem with that, why would she have a problem with that? The guy shows interest. You know what I'm saying? And then she's going to oh, well, he's showing too much interest. Okay, well, then bye. I'll cut her off just as quick as I talk to her. I don't have to deal with all that. I'm not doing all that goofy stuff. Wait 3 days or wait 3 hours. She texts 3 times, you text 1 time. Whatever. You know what? If she's going to be goofy over messages or whatever else, how do you think she's going to be in a relationship? I just don't care. I demonstrate my higher value by responding how I want, when I want, whatever I want. And if she doesn't respond the way I like her to, I'll cut her off. And then you know what they usually do? They usually come back like, oh, okay, well, what happened there? Why did you just stop talking to me? I just bouncing, bro. That's why I have a huge funnel of sisters always. Always have a huge funnel of women. because it's just like they're always going to be acting goofy and doing some goofy stuff and reading too deep into something that's not too deep to read into. And I don't want to deal with all that, bro. I'm not dealing with all that stuff. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yo, Link. Dude's been missing for a while. All right, guys. It's been up on an hour. Finally caught up to all the conversation here. Barakallahu Feek for tuning in. Barakallahu Feek for the super chats, homies. And we will see you tomorrow, probably about the same time. We're breaking the fast close to 9 p.m. here. So it's a bit difficult to get on. But tomorrow's gonna be a heavy day for me. I'm in the Masculine Empowerment Network with MLD John. So I got what do you call it? I got like a show broadcast to do with them. And then I got my show after that. What do you say? Yes, I'm in Germany. How hard is finding community of Muslims? Well, where I'm at, there isn't one. If you go to a major city, it's really easy. But out here where I'm at in the armpit of Germany, there's nothing here. So yeah. So tomorrow I will be live though, inshallah. So it might be a little bit later. I'll look at the time after I'm finished with that show. It's only supposed to be like a half-hour talk and then questions for another half hour. So that means about 7 p.m. my time. And I'll break the fast, blah, blah, blah. We'll see. Maybe about the same time. Hopefully, inshallah, we'll see. But I will be live tomorrow, gentlemen and ladies who tune in. Barakallahu Feek. Inshallah, we see you tomorrow. And oh yeah, the closing statement. Sisters, don't be out there bad-mouthing your husband. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And don't be playing games with them. Don't be asking them for divorce if you want it. That was the lesson for today. This is your man, Abuamerican. What do you say? All right, Mr. Gamers 99. I'll talk to him about it, inshallah. All right, this is your man, Abuamerican. I'm out. Assalamu alaikum.